When I first started walking with God, nobody believed it was real. Not friends, not family, or lover. I know 5 people off the top of my head that straight up denied me, told me to my face that I was mocking God. People I considered to be best friends, people who I was really close with. Some said I was blaspheming. I was told I was going to hell for what I'm doing. Told me there was no way somebody like me could ever teach or share the word of God. I found myself constantly jumping to my own defense, and not in an angry way, but I just found myself over-explaining why I'm doing it, even when I didn't quite understand it. I was telling them, God really is talking to me, y'all, and I know it sounds crazy, because God didn't always talk to me. Not this clear anyway, but I really am hearing from God. The thoughts that pop in my head are not my own, and they still didn't believe it. I even started not to believe it. I would spend days wondering why I keep having intrusive thoughts as predicting things I've never thought of in my life. The voice in my head would tell me of something that would happen in advance, and it would happen, and nobody believed it. God started to talk to me so much about anything, just so I can learn to recognize his voice. I remember waking up one morning at 3 a.m. to this screeching, howling sound in my yard. As soon as I sat up on my bed, before I even looked out the window, I heard as clear as I'm sitting here, a voice in my head said, "Coyotes." I knew it was God, but because nobody else did, I started to feel like I was going crazy. And I felt this way because I was still of the world. I started to feel crazy because I was like, why would God even use me? And I was okay being of the world, at least until I wasn't okay with it. And that's how I started to realize it was God, not my own thoughts. Because all the things that I was doing that was of the world, I started to feel bad about it. I started to feel guilty. And anybody that ever smoked, drank, or did anything that made them feel good, we did not feel bad about it. It was cool zoning out. It got to a point where every time I did something that was out of alignment, it felt like I was under a spotlight or something. Even in the room by myself, it felt like all eyes was on me. It felt like I was under a magnifying glass. Every part of me was being examined. And before all this started happening, I slept good at night, like a baby, peacefully. And you would think when God calls you, you'll sleep even better. That's definitely not the case. I just started randomly seeing dark shadows. I started experiencing these sleep paralysis moments where it felt like I was being held down, laying wide awake, still couldn't move my body. And every time I took a shower, I felt like something evil and demonic was just standing there watching me. And that's when God started to make his voice more clear to me, because in all that, I started to blame him. I heard God say to me one night, Satan's mad because you're no longer asleep. He mad because he know you're not gonna doze back off. And all the things the enemy been doing and all the things you've been seeing, he's doing it to scare you, love. And still in you is fear of waking up. And he know it's easy for him to do it right now because you're still a little loopy. Your eyes haven't been quite opened yet. You're still trying to adjust to what's going on, adjust to the light. God said when you first wake up in reality, in your realm, when you first open your eyes, you're not fully awake. You're still a little loopy. You have to slowly adjust to the light and everything around you. And what people don't know is you're easily frightened when you first wake up. If you first wake up in the morning, you crack your eyes open. If you peek through and see somebody standing over you, not even coming into full consciousness yet, that'll scare somebody into a heart attack. And it's the same in the spiritual realm. God said, Vanessa, I woke you up. And with one eye open, not fully coming into consciousness, into the reality of what I'm trying to do, of what's going on. You're being confused, not fully adjusted to the light, not being fully awake. You're in your most vulnerable state. And the enemy is always going to take the opportunity of being that one who's going to stand over you when you first wake up, when you first crack your eyes open, to scare you. And he's going to pull out every trick because he foreknew. Once you come into full consciousness, once you stood up and found your balance, once you washed your face and was fully awake, love, once your eyes fully adjusted to the light, you was going to finally come into the knowledge of the power you possess. He knew you wasn't going to be a fair fight. He knew you was going to be undefeatable. And he wanted to scare you into hanging on to the words that everybody else was speaking over you. He wanted you to fall subject to all the word curses spoken over your life. He wanted you to play the role of crazy in a script somebody else wrote for you. And he said the only reason you started to feel bad about the things that used to make you feel good is because I finally opened your eyes to be able to see things how I see it. It was your time to wake up. So it don't matter how crazy people say you are, because what they don't know is those same doubting people is gonna have to wake up too. And the irony is, it's gonna use you to do it. So get up, go be blessed, and go bless everybody else.